Welcome back to RockCrawlinJeeps, guys. Today we're gonna do something a little different. I picked up this Warren winch for like 50 bucks last year. I was gonna put it on my wife's JK and I hated the JK, so I sold it. The winch just kind of sat on the floor over there. I'm sure if you paid attention in a couple of the videos, you've just kind of seen it sitting over there. Well, today's the day we bring it back to life. I was told when I bought it from Guy that it had bad solenoids and the winch just didn't work. I've had it for like a year. I haven't touched it. I haven't diagnosed it. I haven't done anything with it because I didn't care to mess with any of this crap. So this is kind of old, outdated technology. Nowadays, everything's moving over to an all-bright solenoid. It's much more reliable. There's not a bunch of things that can go wrong like that. And the best part is they're sealed. So you don't have to worry about water and different things like that getting in. I picked this up online, and we'll open this up in a minute and go over what it is for like $100 shipped to my house. The other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of this steel line. And if you watched our last video, that'll be out by now, when you watch this, you'll hear us discussing why we're getting rid of this steel cable. Instead, we're gonna go with this line right here, made in America, JM Rigging Supply, Cedar City, Utah. If you need a high quality winch line that you don't have to worry about, these are your guys, get with them. They do a lot for the Ultra 4 series, King of the Hammers, things like that in terms of supplying high quality winch lines that are gonna see some serious abuse. So we were fortunate enough to run into them at the Off-Road Expo the other day, and we grabbed one up for this rebuild. So we'll be ditching this steel cable, going with some synthetic line, and hopefully at the end of this, we'll take a look and see what it's gonna look like on that new Hanson bumper that's going on my Jeep. So let's get to it. Here's our Warren control pack upgrade kit. I couldn't remember exactly what they called it. So what this does is this replaces this crap and these two upper bars with this updated controller, and it's an all-bright solenoid. We'll go into what that is here in a second. Probably should make that other cut. So I've had this sitting for couple of weeks on the cabinet. Haven't really messed with it. Thank you for buying a Warren product. Well, thanks, Warren. Not sponsored by them, paid full price, but still high quality stuff. So this is what we're after. So this is a super high quality sealed all-bright solenoid kit from Warren. We got some hardware. Let's see here. That's it. Not even a sticker? Come on, guys. I mean, if I spoke too soon, let me know, but I don't think I did. No Warren stickers. What am I supposed to put on my cabinets? I mean, we're trying to fill out some cabinets. I don't have any Warren stickers. So what this does is this is a very, very simple replacement that's going to go right here and just cap off our winch. So the cool thing is everything's already color coded. We've got green, blue, and yellow. And over here on the winch, we've got green, blue, and something that's really faded. So we'll have to go through and read our instructions and make sure that we're putting all the wires in the right spots. But it's gonna be a really, really simple upgrade. We're gonna go ahead and take this apart. We're gonna start by removing these bars and then taking those wires off, and it should be pretty easy. We already went ahead and broke them loose. So now we'll just see what we can do. Start over here where I got the vice grips already.
What size bit is that?
This is a, what are we at? 1/4 inch. So this steel cable, for a number of reasons, is not what we want. One, it's heavy. Two, it gets damaged. It gets kinks and frays and bends, and micro cracks all in it. You have to be sure to wear gloves when you're working with it. Thanks to WTD for keeping my hands safe. I've been splintered by steel cable. It's not fun. So we'll get this unspooled, and super happy to have some nice synthetic line from JM Rigging to put back on here. So this is what we're talking about with steel cable. It gets pinched, it gets damaged, and then you get little slivers. Those slivers are going to your hand. That shit hurts. Like, a lot. If you're gonna run steel cable, and I get it, for some applications it is a little better, be sure to wear gloves and pay attention to what you're grabbing. We got our winch line off. Now we're just gonna take this off. This is our captor for the winch line. That way it just doesn't come unscrewed on you like that. Nice and small, nothing too big. And for now, we'll actually just go ahead and put that back in. We said we were gonna have to figure out our color coding of green, yellow, and blue. Well, green, blue, yellow. Nice and easy. Warren took care of that for us. And they didn't just mark the nuts, they marked the post, which is great because, well, we're not taking out the posts. We're taking off the hardware, so we don't have to worry about getting anything mixed up. So we'll go ahead and get these taken off, and then we'll put our new stuff on. Got that taken off. Put that in the junk pile. We don't need it anymore. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is get the back part of this installed on here so we don't get our case halves split. And then we'll go ahead and take this front bar out and put the front part on. That way we don't have to worry about anything. That's how the directions call for it. So this is kind of weird. I'm not sure why Warren did it this way, but this hardware is actually set up to cut threads. So we're actually threading into this housing here with our hardware. Kind of weird, but whatever. I didn't design it. We got our new control pack mounted up. We put the hardware in as the instructions showed. Again, a bit confusing, but it is what it is. That's apparently how Warren wanted it all installed. It went together just fine, so we're gonna go with it. So over here, we'll go ahead and run our wires real quick. So this is nice and easy. See if I can get that routed how we want it. Green, yellow, and blue. I think we'll route blue like this. We've got our new cables installed to the winch. We took the boots off the old one. It is a bit weird that a kit like this doesn't provide new boots, but I mean, I'm happy to reuse my old ones. It's just, if you're gonna do it, you gotta hope that yours are in good shape. And these are in okay shape. I may look into ordering some fresh ones here for it. We went ahead and cleaned them up and wiped them down, but it's not a substitute for replacement. We've got our upper post taken care of. Now we're gonna put our little ground down here for the motor. And we did notice one thing that we're missing. We've got our big positive. Well, when I bought this winch, I didn't get the negative cable, and it's been sitting for like 1.5 years, and I forgot that I didn't have a negative. So we're gonna go to the local parts store, and we're gonna build a negative cable real quick. We got this 2-gauge wire, 2-gauge terminal end, and we don't have the really large crimp tool, so we're actually just gonna use a vise and crush it. This works just the same as crimping. It's not like the super great way, but it's definitely a way. So just like that, you got a really nice terminal end. We've got some heat shrink here, so we'll go ahead, cut this, put the heat gun on it, and boom, you have a cable. It protects our wire, and it keeps us from having any weird connections that we don't want to have happen, and arcing and grounding, different things like that. So always take that extra second or two and get everything done right. Heat shrink it, and makes things nicer, you know. It really looks professional underneath the hood instead of having something that's just kind of tossed together. Dylan's got the control there. We just got done putting it all together, and we needed a good battery. So we popped the hood on my Jeep, and here's our new pack. The old Warren lives again. So not much. We had to spend $50 to make this cable, and that's really about it. You know, so we got our 150 bucks into making this thing work again. So we're 200 bucks into a Warren. You could have used the steel cable again. We chose not to. We're gonna spool on that JM Rigging synthetic line once we clean this drum up a bit, so we don't have to worry about any chafing on our line. But overall, just huge success on putting this thing back together and getting it working again. So we're gonna go inside and finish up, maybe greasing this thing up a little. We heard a little noise when we were running our winch, and we wanted to kind of check it out. So we went ahead and pulled our planetary gear set out. I really think all we're gonna do on this is just put a little bit of fresh grease in here and put it back together, because she looks pretty happy. I don't see anything in here that makes me concerned or anything else. So pretty happy to see that. Pretty clean in here, really. So we'll add a little bit of, I think I got some Amsoil grease for my rare parts ball joint install, and we'll just squirt a little bit of fresh grease in there and put it back together. We're not putting much on here, but we're just putting a little bit in there. Keeps it nice and happy. No need to go to town, no need to add a bunch to it. Just enough to kind of get a fresh coat of grease on all the gears and make everything nice and happy. So what you'll want to do is get a couple of these started by hand, and then we'll go through with our little impact there, and we'll just kind of get everything snug. We're not going to tighten anything with that, because that's asking to snap bolts off. We got her all put together. We got her tested. We greased up the planetary gears. Now we're just about ready to put on our new line. So this is JM Rigging Supply 1-piece 3/8 Dyneema SK75 winch line. It's 100 foot long, and it's rated to 19,690 pounds, which means it's rated to a lot more than that steel cable is. And it's a lot safer. So we've gone over our drum here. We've cleaned it up. We made sure there's no rough spots, burrs, anything like that. It's going to hurt our cable. And now we'll spool her up. We've got our winch line connected here to the drum. And we've got our, so this is like the end of your winch wrap here. And if you're ever winching and you get this low, stop. You need to have at least 5 solid wraps. Some prefer the whole bottom row on the drum even, just for strength. Because if not, that screw right there is not load bearing. Like, you will rip that screw out. It doesn't do anything but locate the winch line so you can wind it around the drum. So we're gonna go ahead and start getting this thing wind in. Again, good pair of gloves, even on synthetic, because sometimes these things can pick up stuff on the trails, piece of metal, things, anything. So you still want to keep your hands protected. We're all wrapped up. We've got our new winch line on. It's not like pulled tight or anything. It's just kind of freely on there. So once we wrap it kind of tight, we'll free up some more room on this drum and things won't be as tight. But I got to get those bumpers sitting over there mounted on my Jeep before this thing finds its new home. So we're probably a few weeks away on that at a minimum, just because of schedules. And we got to get to work on Purple's EJ. She's been neglected for like 4 weeks. So really happy to have gotten this done, and I'm just going to break it down for you guys. This can be done for like 200 bucks. I bought this winch for $50 off Facebook Marketplace. Just jumped on a guy who said, hey, winch doesn't work. I don't know what it is. I don't feel like fixing it. I bought a Smittybilt. I messaged the guy an offer. I bought it for $50. It then sat in the corner for a while. Warren released this not too long ago, so glad that I waited and didn't try and figure out how to do an Albright mod outside of Warren, although very doable. It's about the same price, but this is way better. So this was $100 online, shipped to my house. So we had a $50 winch, a $100 control pack, and that made it work. We could have used this steel cable, still more than good. You could still use it. I just am not a big proponent of steel cable. I don't like it. I don't like the risks associated with it, and I don't like pulling a heavy-ass winch line out every time I need to use my winch. So JM Rigging sold us this. It was just a hair under $300, and we got it put on here. So for under $500, we have a Warren M8000 that I want to say is kind of gone through, a bit refurbished, cleaned up, and ready to go on a Jeep. I mean, this controller is basically brand new. And I'm super excited to get it on a rig. So thanks for tuning in this week. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see us building next or doing next. We are planning on shooting that gear review and what we carry with us out on the trails. And hopefully we're getting to spring, so we'll actually get out on the trails and do some camping and show you guys what Utah's about. But see you guys next week.